Welcome to the Holistic Path podcast, where we explore mindful living, conscious choices, and the deeper connection between body, mind, and spirit. I am your host, and I am so glad you are here. Let us take a gentle step forward together.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We take complex topics, dig into the sources, and, basically give you the insights without you having to do all the heavy reading.
And today we're tackling something huge. Chronic exhaustion. That feeling where you're just dragging yourself through the day.
Yeah, not just, I didn't sleep well last night. This is different. It's waking up after 8, maybe 9 hours, and still feeling completely drained.
Needing coffee just to function, feeling overwhelmed by simple tasks. It's really frustrating.
And everyone just tells you, just get more sleep. It's kind of maddening, honestly.
Exactly. Because if you are sleeping that much and still feel this way, the core idea we found in the research is pretty clear. Sleep probably isn't the real problem.
Right. The fatigue is likely coming from somewhere else. Something structural. Something off-kilter in the body that's just constantly draining your energy.
That's the premise. It's not about willpower. It's about physiology. Something's broken or blocked.
So our mission today is to go beyond that generic advice. We're diving into 5, let's call them hidden energy drains, things that often don't show up on standard tests.
Yeah, we're talking thyroid issues, insulin resistance, key nutritional gaps, the impact of chronic stress, and hidden inflammation.
We'll break down what they are, the key symptoms, and crucially, what tests you actually need to ask for to uncover them. Okay, so let's tackle that big myth first. Why doesn't just sleeping more fix this kind of deep exhaustion? You mentioned a phone analogy in the sources.
Yeah, it's a really good one. Think of sleep as plugging in your phone to charge.
Okay.
The phone's battery is healthy, the software is fine. You plug it in for, say, 8 hours overnight.
You wake up, it's at 100%, ready to go.
Exactly. But chronic fatigue, that's like having a phone with a damaged battery. Or maybe the charging port is faulty.
Or, like you said earlier, maybe apps are running constantly in the background, just sucking power.
Precisely. So you plug it in all night, maybe even 10 hours, but you wake up and it's only charged to like 40%. The charging time isn't the issue.
The system is the issue.
Right. The underlying hardware or software is faulty. It can't hold a charge, or it's using energy way too fast.
That makes so much sense, because when you feel that exhausted, you really do start thinking, what's wrong with me?
But it's not you. It's likely one of these underlying physical issues: hormones out of whack, missing nutrients, constant low-grade inflammation that's draining your energy faster than sleep can possibly replenish it.
So the focus really needs to shift. Less about hours slept, more about finding out what's actually draining the battery.
That's it. We need to look under the hood.
Okay, let's look under that hood. First culprit, thyroid dysfunction.
Yeah.
Called it the body's engine.
Yeah, think of it that way. This little butterfly-shaped gland in your neck controls your metabolism. It produces hormones T3 and T4, mainly.
And those hormones basically set the speed for everything.
Pretty much. They dictate how quickly your cells burn fuel for energy. So if your thyroid is underactive hypothyroidism, everything slows right down.
Which explains the symptoms, right? That constant tiredness, the brain fog.
Exactly. Weight gain that feels impossible to shift, feeling cold all the time, even dry skin, hair loss, constipation. It's like the whole system is running on low power.
Now here's the critical part from the sources, and I think this trips a lot of people up. Doctors often only test TSH.
Right, thyroid stimulating hormone. And if that TSH falls within this, frankly, enormous normal range, they might just say, you're fine.
Even if you feel absolutely terrible, I've heard this from so many people, why isn't TSH enough?
Well, TSH is actually a signal from your brain, the pituitary gland, telling the thyroid to work. It doesn't tell you what the thyroid is actually doing.
Okay. It's like shouting instructions, but not checking if they were followed.
Kind of, yeah. It doesn't show how much T4, the storage hormone, is being produced, or, more importantly, how much free T3, the active energy hormone your cells actually use, is available.
So you could have normal TSH, but if your T3 is low, you're still going to feel exhausted.
Absolutely. That low free T3, even with normal TSH, is a classic pattern we see in chronic fatigue.
So what should people be asking for then? The full picture.
Yes, you need a full thyroid panel. That means TSH, free T4, free T3, and also thyroid antibodies.
Antibodies, why those?
To check for autoimmune thyroid conditions like Hashimoto's, which is actually the most common cause of hyperthyroidism in many places, the immune system mistakenly attacks the thyroid.
Got it. So comprehensive testing is key. While waiting for tests or alongside treatment, are there natural things people could do to support their thyroid?
Definitely. Diet plays a role. Think about nutrients the thyroid needs. Iodine is crucial, found in fish, seaweed, eggs.
Okay.
And selenium is really important for converting T4 into that active T3. Brazil nuts are a fantastic source. Just 1 or 2 a day can make a difference.
Brazil nuts? Easy enough. Anything else?
Reducing stress is huge. Chronic stress directly suppresses thyroid function. So stress management isn't just nice to have, it's actually vital for thyroid health.
Stress again. We'll probably come back to that.
We will. But next, let's talk fuel delivery. Cause number 2, insulin resistance.
The clogged fuel line. This one seems to be absolutely exploding.
It really is. So insulin's job is basically to act like a key. It opens the doors on your cells to let glucose, sugar, your main fuel, inside.
Okay, simple enough.
But if we constantly flood our system with too much sugar and refined carbs, bread, pasta, pastries, sugary drinks,
The standard modern diet for many people.
unfortunately, yes. The cells get bombarded with insulin knocking at the door all the time. Eventually, they start to ignore it. They become resistant.
So the key stops working reliably.
Exactly. And the result is you've got plenty of fuel, plenty of glucose floating around in your bloodstream.
But it can't get into the cells where it's needed for energy.
Right. The cells are effectively starving even though there's an abundance of fuel available. It's like having a full gas tank but a clogged fuel line.
And that cellular starvation, that directly causes fatigue.
Massive fatigue, especially that crash you feel after eating, particularly after a high-carb meal. That's a huge red flag.
What are other signs?
Intense cravings for sugar or carbs, finding it really hard to lose weight, especially around the belly, sometimes brain fog after eating carbs, that hangry feeling, getting really irritable or shaky if you miss a meal, that's common too.
Okay, so if someone suspects this, again, testing is crucial. Just checking fasting glucose isn't enough, right?
Correct. Fasting glucose just shows how much sugar is in the blood at that moment. It doesn't show how hard your body is working to keep it there.
So what do we need to measure?
The key test is fasting insulin. You want to see how much insulin your body is pumping out just to keep your fasting glucose looking normal. Ideally, this should be low, like under 5 or 7.
And what level suggests a problem?
The sources really emphasize that a fasting insulin level over 10 is a strong indicator of resistance, even if your glucose looks perfectly fine.
Wow, okay, over 10. Good number to know. What else?
HbA1c is also important. That gives you a 3-month average picture of your blood sugar control. You want that ideally below 5.7%.
Right, so fasting insulin and HbA1c.
Got it.
If someone gets these tests back and confirms resistance, what's the game plan?
Number 1, absolutely non-negotiable. Cut way back on sugar and refined carbohydrates. That's the primary driver.
Makes sense. Stop flooding the system.
Exactly. Then focus on stabilizing blood sugar. Always pair carbohydrates with protein and healthy fats. Never eat carbs alone.
That slows down the sugar absorption.
Yes, significantly. And regular movement helps enormously. Even just a 20 or 30-minute walk, especially after meals, can really improve your cells' sensitivity to insulin.
Simple but effective.
Sure.
What about intermittent fasting? I hear that mentioned a lot.
Yeah, many sources suggest it can be very beneficial for resetting insulin sensitivity. Giving your body a break from constant digestion and insulin production can really help.
All right, so we've covered the engine, thyroid, and the fuel line, insulin. What's next? Cause number 3 is nutritional deficiencies, like missing parts.
Exactly. Missing building blocks. Your body needs specific vitamins and minerals to actually run the biochemical reactions that convert food into usable energy ATP.
So even if your thyroid's okay and your cells can get fuel, if you're missing key nutrients, the energy factory just can't run properly.
Precisely. Deficiency in even one critical nutrient can slow the whole process down, leading to fatigue.
The sources highlighted 4 big ones that are often overlooked. Let's start with iron. Most people know about iron, but maybe not the right test.
Right. Doctors usually check hemoglobin or maybe serum iron, but the most important test for energy reserves is ferritin.
Ferritin. Why is that one so crucial?
Ferritin measures your stored iron. It's your iron savings account. Hemoglobin is like the cash in your wallet today. If your ferritin is low and optimally, we're talking above 50, maybe even 70 for good energy.
Above 50. Okay.
Then you don't have the reserves. Your body can't make enough hemoglobin consistently, can't carry enough oxygen to your cells. Result: deep fatigue, often shortness of breath, maybe hair loss too.
Okay, so test ferritin. What about fixing low iron? Red meat.
Red meat is great if you eat it, also lentils, spinach. And always take iron with vitamin C. It boosts absorption significantly. Supplementing might be needed if levels are really low.
Good tip. Next up, vitamin B12, essential for energy and nerves, right?
Absolutely. And B12 deficiency is surprisingly common, especially in vegetarians and vegans, because it's mainly found in animal products. Also, older adults often have trouble absorbing it.
What's the test of the target level?
You want to test serum B12. Optimally, you want levels above 400 or even 500 pg/ml for good energy and cognitive function.
And if supplementing?
Look for the methylcobalamin form. It's the active form, generally better utilized by the body than cyanocobalamin.
Methylcobalamin. Noted. Number 3 is vitamin D, the sunshine vitamin. Seems like everyone's low these days.
It really does. And it's crucial not just for bones, but for mood, immune function, and definitely energy levels.
Test.
25 OH vitamin D. That's the one you want.
And the optimal range?
Aim for between 40 and 60 ngMNL. Some experts even push for a bit higher, maybe 50 to 70.
How to fix it? Just get more sun.
Some sensible sun exposure, yes, maybe 15-20 minutes a day on bare skin without burning, but many people, especially in winter or with darker skin, will need to supplement with vitamin D3. Doses often range from 2,000 to 5,000 IU daily, but it's best to test first.
Okay. And the last of the big 4, magnesium.
Ah, magnesium, the master mineral, involved in over 300 enzyme reactions in the body, including all the steps involved in creating ATP energy.
Wow, 300 plus gone. So if you're low, energy production takes a big hit.
Huge hit. And because our soils are depleted and processing removes magnesium from foods, deficiency is incredibly common. Stress also depletes magnesium rapidly.
What's the best test? I heard the standard one isn't great.
That's right. Standard serum magnesium, which measures magnesium in the blood fluid, isn't very accurate for showing your body's total stores. You want to ask for a magnesium RBC test.
RBC, red blood cell.
Yes. It measures the magnesium inside your red blood cells, which gives a much better indication of your actual tissue levels.
Okay, magnesium RBC, how to boost levels.
Food first. Leafy greens like spinach and kale, nuts, seeds, dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate, I like that one.
Me too. But often supplementation is needed. Magnesium glycinate or malate are generally well-absorbed forms. Often around 400 milligrams per day is a good starting point, usually taken at night as it can also help with sleep.
Okay, this next one feels inevitable in modern life.
Great.
Cause number 4, chronic stress. We touched on it with the thyroid.
And it's not just feeling mentally stressed. Constant low-grade stress physically changes your body chemistry, primarily through hormone cortisol.
The fight-or-flight hormone.
Yeah.
Designed for short bursts, right? Like running from a tiger.
Exactly. Cortisol gives you that surge of energy, sharpens focus, mobilizes fuel, all great for immediate survival.
But we're not running from tigers anymore. We have deadlines, traffic, notifications.
Right. We have chronic stressors that keep cortisol elevated pretty much all the time. And long-term high cortisol is incredibly damaging. It wasn't designed for that.
How does it specifically drain energy? The sources mentioned a few ways.
Yeah, 3 big interlocking effects. First, high cortisol, especially at night, absolutely wrecks your sleep architecture. It's famous for causing that 3 or 4 a.m. wake up where your mind is just racing and you can't get back to sleep.
Ugh, the worst. Been there.
Second, as we mentioned, cortisol actively suppresses proper thyroid hormone conversion. It lowers your T3. So stress directly impacts your metabolic engine.
Linking back to cause number 1.
Okay, and third, if the adrenals are pumping out high cortisol for too long, they can eventually get fatigued themselves. This can lead to a state where cortisol levels actually become too low, especially in the morning, leading to that feeling of utter exhaustion and inability to get going.
So it starts high and then can crash low.
Exactly. It's a pattern of dysregulation.
What are the telltale symptoms of this kind of stress-induced fatigue?
It's often described as feeling wired but tired. You might feel agitated or anxious, but underneath you're deeply exhausted. Waking up feeling unrefreshed even after a full night's sleep is classic. Relying heavily on caffeine, experiencing a major energy slump in the afternoon, feeling easily overwhelmed.
Sounds familiar for a lot of people. How do you test for this cortisol dysregulation? A single blood test won't cut it, right? Because levels change all day.
Correct. You need to map the rhythm. The best test is a 4-point salivary cortisol test.
Saliva.
Yes. You collect saliva samples, typically when you wake up, around noon, late afternoon, and before bed. This plots your cortisol curve throughout the day.
And shows if it's too high at night or too low in the morning.
Precisely. It reveals the pattern of dysregulation, which then informs how you might treat it.
And the treatment. Is it just reduce stress? Easier said than done?
Yeah, it is. But you have to start somewhere. Identify and reduce the controllable stressors in your life. Prioritize consistent sleep hygiene, and build in active daily stress management practices.
Like meditation or breath work.
Yes, even just 10 minutes a day. Spending time in nature is also incredibly powerful for regulating the nervous system, and the sources specifically mention adaptogenic herbs.
Adaptogens, like ashwagandha.
Exactly. Ashwagandha, rhodiola, holy basil. These herbs help the body adapt to stress and can support healthier cortisol rhythms. And sometimes just learning to say no more often is the best adrenal support there is.
Learning to say no. That's a big one.
Okay, our fifth and final hidden energy thief: chronic low-level inflammation.
Inflammation. Most people think of that as like a swollen ankle, right? Redness, heat, pain.
That's acute inflammation, the body's helpful response to injury or infection. But we're talking about something different here. A smoldering, systemic, low-grade inflammation that can persist for months or years.
Hidden, because you might not have obvious signs like swelling.
Exactly. But it's incredibly draining on your energy reserves. Think of your immune system as being constantly activated, like it's fighting a low-level battle 24/7.
That sounds exhausting just thinking about it.
It is. Mobilizing the immune system constantly requires a huge amount of metabolic energy. It leaves very little left over for you to feel vital and active.
What causes this kind of simmering inflammation?
It often starts in the gut. Undiagnosed food sensitivities are a big one. Gluten, dairy, corn, soy, sugar are common culprits.
So eating foods you're sensitive to keeps the immune system on high alert.
Constantly. Also, gut imbalances like SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, or leaky gut syndrome, where the gut lining becomes permeable, allowing particles into the bloodstream that trigger the immune system.
Okay, gut health is key. What else?
Chronic underlying infections can do it too. Things like reactivated Epstein-Barr virus, Lyme disease, or even exposure to mold toxins in your environment. And underlying autoimmune conditions inherently involve inflammation.
Wow, lots of potential triggers. What are the symptoms beyond fatigue? How might someone know this is happening?
Besides the fatigue, common signs include persistent muscle or joint aches, brain fog, ongoing digestive issues like bloating or irregular bowels, getting sick frequently, and sometimes skin problems like eczema, psoriasis, or stubborn acne.
Okay, so it's often fatigue plus these other nagging symptoms. How do we test for this hidden inflammation?
The most accessible and important marker is HSCRP, high sensitivity C-reactive protein.
HSCRP, what's a good level?
It's a marker of systemic inflammation. Ideally, you want it below 1.0 mg/L. Levels consistently above 1.0 suggest ongoing low-grade inflammation that needs investigating.
Below 1.0. Got it. Any other useful tests?
ESR, erythrocyte sedimentation rate, is another general inflammation marker, and homocysteine can also be elevated with inflammation and relates to B vitamin status too.
Okay, so if tests show inflammation or someone suspects it based on symptoms, what's the approach?
You have to find and remove the triggers. The biggest lever for most people is diet.
The food sensitivities.
Yes. Trying a structured elimination diet, removing common triggers like gluten, dairy, sugar, corn, and soy for at least 30 days can be incredibly revealing.
How do you feel without them?
Exactly. Then focus on actively healing the gut lining things like bone broth, L-glutamine, probiotics can help, and flood your diet with anti-inflammatory foods.
Like what?
Fatty fish rich in omega-3s, salmon, mackerel, sardines, turmeric, ginger, olive oil, lots of colorful vegetables and berries. Basically, a whole foods, nutrient-dense diet. Reducing exposure to environmental toxins where possible is also important.
Okay, that's a lot to take in. 5 major hidden causes. Thyroid, insulin, nutrients, stress, inflammation. It feel overwhelming.
It definitely can, but the sources laid out a pretty clear step-by-step approach, kind of 30-day energy reset plan.
Let's break that down. Step 1.
Step 1, ideal in the first week. Get tested. You need objective data. Stop guessing.
Right. We've listed a lot of tests. Full thyroid panel, fasting insulin, HbA1c, ferritin, B12, vitamin D, magnesium RBC, HSCRP, maybe the cortisol test. That's a big list. If someone feels overwhelmed or maybe budget is tight, what are the absolute must-haves to start?
Great question. If you had to pick just 2 areas to investigate first, based on how common and impactful they are, I'd prioritize fasting insulin and the full thyroid panel, making sure that includes free T3 and the antibodies.
Okay, insulin and thyroid first. Why those 2?
Because they govern your fundamental fuel access and your metabolic rate. Problems there have such huge downstream effects on energy. Addressing those often gives the biggest bang for your buck initially.
Makes sense. Start with the biggest potential levers. Okay, so you order the test, then what? Step 2.
Step 2 happens while you're waiting for those results, maybe weeks 2 through 4. Implement the low-hanging fruit. These are foundational habits that support all the systems we talked about.
Things that help no matter what the test results show.
Exactly. First, drastically cut sugar and refined carbs. That helps insulin sensitivity, inflammation, gut health, everything.
Okay, number 1.
Second, prioritize protein and healthy fats with every meal. Stabilizes blood sugar, provides building blocks.
What?
Third, get at least 15 minutes of morning sunlight exposure if possible. Helps vitamin D and sets your circadian rhythm for better sleep and cortisol patterns.
Simple, but powerful.
Fourth, commit to just 10 minutes of daily stress management, deep breathing, meditation, a quiet walk. Non-negotiable.
10 minutes. Everyone can find 10 minutes.
Fifth, aim for 7-8 hours of consistent sleep opportunity each night. Protect that sleep window. And sixth, move your body daily. Doesn't have to be intense. A 20-30-minute walk makes a difference.
So basically clean up the diet, manage stress, prioritize sleep and light, and move a bit. Foundational stuff.
Foundational, yes, but incredibly powerful when done consistently. It starts calming the whole system down.
Okay, then step 3, when the test results come back.
Step 3, maybe starting week 4 or whenever you get results. Personalize your approach. Now you use that objective data.
Stop guessing. Start targeting.
Precisely. If your ferritin is low, you focus on iron-rich foods and maybe supplementation with vitamin C. If insulin resistance is confirmed, you double down on the low-carb approach, maybe explore intermittent fasting more seriously.
If thyroid antibodies are high,
You work with a practitioner on addressing the autoimmune component, maybe look deeper into gut health or specific nutrient support like selenium, high inflammation markers. Time for that strict elimination diet and gut healing protocols.
so the tests guide the specific interventions beyond the foundational habits.
Exactly. It moves you from generic advice to a targeted strategy based on your unique physiology. #tag outro. So to wrap up, we've debunked that myth that more sleep is always the answer for deep fatigue.
Yeah, and we've uncovered these 5 common yet often hidden culprits. Thyroid issues, insulin resistance, nutrient deficiencies, chronic stress impacts, and hidden inflammation.
And the absolute key takeaway is the need for the right testing. Objective data is crucial.
You have to look under the hood with those specific tests. Full thyroid panel, fasting insulin, ferritin, B12, D, magnesium RBC, HS-CRP. Don't settle for just the basic screening labs if you still feel exhausted.
Definitely. And that leads us to our final thought for you to consider.
Go on.
If you've been struggling with this kind of exhaustion for a long time, maybe months, maybe years, please know it is almost certainly not your fault. It's not a lack of effort or willpower.
It's not a moral failing.
No. Your body is desperately trying to send you a message. This fatigue is a signal that something specific is out of balance, something is broken or blocked.
So the crucial shift is to stop just pushing for more sleep, more rest, and start listening differently.
Yes, start listening through the lens of these potential underlying causes. Use the test as your translator to understand what your body is trying to tell you.
Because finding that specific imbalance and then applying the targeted fix based on the data, that's what actually allows you to get your energy back. Sustainable, real energy.
That's the path forward. Stop guessing, start testing, start fixing the root cause. That's how you reclaim your vitality.
A powerful message. Go get tested, find your answers.
Until next time on The Deep Dive.
Thanks for walking this path with me today. If this episode resonated with you, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay connected. Until next time, take care of yourself. And keep moving forward, one conscious choice at a time.